Wait a second. Why can't you put atomic on this gun? Am I seeing shit? Or whenever I swap between these, the gold is like sticking. I'm seeing shit. So we just keep getting more and more information about all this stuff going on with like COD and shit. Apparently, oh, and there's also a UFC tomorrow. So as you guys know, Activision ended up getting bought or whatever by Microsoft. So there's supposed to be like a whole bunch of changes coming. At least that, you know, that's the idea of it. And this could change like the entire structure of how we even do anything. Obviously, the culture was a big issue in there, and just crunch and all sorts of other stuff that we've heard about it like over the years and stuff like that. But Call of Duty has been a yearly release for well over a decade straight, just going and going and going and going. Bloomberg report says that there have been high-level conversations at Activision executive team about stopping the annual release of Call of Duty. Nothing final yet, but discussion is happening. Have discussed moving away from the annual release schedule, according to two people familiar with the discussions. Although nothing's finalized yet, there's a belief among many Call of Duty devs that releasing games at a slower cadence will please players and help bolster the franchise. Hey, maybe have one release every 2 years instead of be the annual thing. Since it's been going the same way for so long, like, it's not surprising that they've decided not to change anything, because for them, obviously, making money, it fucking works. But overall, yeah, the games are definitely suffering now more and more and more. It just seems like more and more things are just, seems like it's all coming to a head, and that could be something that helps a lot. I mean, you would hope it would, but at the same time, I'm thinking in my head, like, the Call of Duty yearly release, obviously they would get more money, but realistically, Warzone is the big money earner now. And since they saw like a, what was it, a 36% decline from 2020 entry in UK sale charts for Vanguard, I mean, people were stuck inside, dude. I mean, no shit, the sales are gonna be down. And you're trying to sell a World War II game. You know what? I'm gonna not do Ship House. Slowing down the Call of Duty release schedule may lighten developers' intense workloads and could provide new opportunities for Activision game makers to work on other titles. Blizzard division could also benefit culturally and strategically from the acquisition. Yep. These are the first things that I ended up thinking of. Oh, wait, we lost somehow? Well, that was a quick game, I guess. Developers at the studios have been wanting to shift away from yearly releases for a while. The executive team continued to demand yearly Call of Duty games. Yep. Inside Activision Blizzard this week, lots of cautious optimism about the merger and Kotick being gone. Excitement for more creative freedom under Xbox. Fear of layoffs. Call of Duty could ditch the yearly release schedule. Also, Modern Warzone ended up putting out a thing a couple days ago. I think it was on the 19th. They asked, do you think Call of Duty should stop releasing games yearly and allow their studios more time to develop a game before publishing? And most people answered 90% actually out of 27,000 votes. They voted overwhelmingly yes. They would like the studios to take more time with the game. I can see how this all works, but the thing that I was getting at in my head, this might be the death of multiplayer Call of Duty. Or it could be completely reborn. I don't know. I have this idea in my head that multiplayer itself, I don't think Call of Duty really ever gets sold for its multiplayer experience besides Warzone at this point. It feels like everything is buffer for Warzone. And we're thinking right now it's basically going to work like this. We're going to get Modern Warfare 2, which is supposed to revitalize the whole series or whatever, especially after, you know, Vanguard and stuff with their sale numbers. Boom, Modern Warfare 2 comes out. It's got the Modern Warfare name on it and everything. It's definitely gonna sell. At least much better than this. I don't know why I'm worried about more shit than just being excited for it, I guess. I kind of get the feeling that Call of Duty multiplayer numbers might not be worth it as much for them when they go and like look at it in the scale of things. And if that means, like, if Warzone becomes the main thing, it might mean less resources to multiplayer being the less popular thing. And we basically have to hope, if we do stop the yearly cycle and they come out, say, every 2 years or even longer than that, we have to hope that whatever the last game that came out, the newest one, we have to hope that that one is good. Like, really good to play for literally years. But when you start thinking of it like that, a lot of people go and think, well, that's Warzone, though. Warzone is the long-term thing that they want to keep people on. I don't know. I just... It makes me wonder about like grinds and stuff like that too, like the amount of content that could come with these things. Like if a game is gonna, you know, be out for 2 years straight and you go and complete all the content on it, you know, within a month, like the moneymaker wouldn't necessarily be that multiplayer release anymore. Like maybe they're used to getting that, you know, influx of cash right then and there, but if they just replace it with updates instead, that just means, I don't know. I think I'm just worrying too much. I'd like to think that, like, having a longer cycle would make it so the game is absolutely just gonna be better 100%. But we're talking about, you know, working on other titles and things like that. Like, you know, maybe the majority of the stuff will just be pumped into Warzone instead of, like, these yearly release things as, like, multiplayer experiences. Like, maybe they'll do campaigns, but what if they just, like, drop multiplayer? Does that 2-year cycle mean that multiplayer will be the thing that is getting paid attention to for those cycles? Like, we're so used to it being a certain way, you have to kind of rewire your brain to even, like, worry about it this way, I guess. Maybe I'm just delusional. If I think of a Call of Duty that got worked on for, like, an extra year or something like that, and got it on release, I just haven't seen or felt the difference. You know what I mean? It's been so long, I don't know what they can do with an extra year. Obviously, in your mind, you're thinking, well, it can't be worse, right? And the thing is, since we're more about getting updates more often and things like that, more frequently, those updates are usually the things that end up creating bugs and things like that. The studio cycle that Call of Duty has with Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward, and Treyarch, we already assume that these guys have a bunch of years to work on it because the other studios are picking up that thing. But we don't actually know how many people are on how many teams and how many people from this certain team were helping this studio at this point in time. Like, we hear about it, but we don't, like, actually physically see it or see how much it actually affects, speeds it up or slows it down. We don't know. Like, the idea is that they've already been having, like, 3 years to go and make their games, right? If my game released in 2018 and then my next game doesn't need to be released until 2021. I had 3 years right there in itself. Would that mean that we would have like a 2-year dev cycle potentially between each studio? So every studio technically gets even more time? There's just so many questions that obviously nobody has the answer to, but like, if they're changing the annual cycle, is it even just 2 years? Like, is it longer than 2 years? And if it is longer than 2 years, then we better hope that that current game that we're playing is actually, like, good. Otherwise, it's, like, dead. Because the yearly release, you could release bullshit, but at the beginning of it, every single time, people would still at least check it out. Now, it's like you have that one point in time where it's like, oh, shit, that's kind of weird. There is no new Call of Duty. We're still stuck on this game that everyone's already tired of because it's been an entire year. Well, I don't want to go back to that. We'll just wait. Then that makes me think, then they should probably just concentrate on Warzone. But then that makes me think, why even bother with the multiplayer? Oh, God. I'm just going in circles. This is my inner monologue. I saw the news. I'm kind of worried. I know that a yearly release is bad. I am aware of that. I know that this whole crunching and all that shit, like they were saying, everything that they have said is like completely true. And it should help the developers, you know, mentality and the work and all that would result in a higher quality product. But what if it's not the product that we're used to getting? Like, everything is changing. You know what I mean? This is why I've eaten the same cereal for like the last 20 years of my life. You know what? We'll just dive face first into it. I mean, there's no way it can get that much worse than this, right?